It's time to discuss the last week in professional wrestling with That Way Cool Wrestling Show, Breakout.
Welcome, everybody, to another week of That Way Cool Wrestling Show presents Breakout. I am your host, the Celtic Casanova. I am joined by my real-life valet and transforming into a Smurf, as you can tell by her hair blending in with our green screen, the lovely Samantha Sparks.
Thank you. I can introduce myself. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Make sure that you go back to our channel, DJB Productions Network. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and as I always say, give it 5 stars, even though you can't.
Why can't you?
I don't think you can give YouTube
You
stars.
can if you comment it.
You say
You
every
can comment 5 stars.
You can't comment
You can't-
5 and
it's
a
not
half,
like-
though.
it's
Like,
not
so
like-
it has to be full stars.
You could do 6 stars if you're typing it in.
Yeah, but that's not a thing.
If it was
Technically, I feel like 5 stars isn't really. I mean, I
if
guess.
it was in the Tokyo Dome, it would be 6 stars, according to Meltzer.
Let's get. What are we getting to? Go ahead.
You know how we do. Let's do it.
No. Go ahead.
It's been a week or two because you've been flaky.
Yeah, I've not been flaky. I have things to do.
So anyway, we're going to get to the dirt sheets. This week...
You mean these dirt sheets?
Oh, God. Put that smut down.
Not
Anyway, nobody cares what Jennifer Aniston's up to. We are here for professional wrestling. And this week in the dirt sheets, just came out that WWE is having another mass firing after they did in the middle of the pandemic. Well, I guess it's not the middle because we're still in the pandemic, but this isn't.
It's nearing the end, but how many people did they? I would hope
Dude,
so.
you better give this information to the government.
I'm pretty sure.
Because if you know that it's at the end, I don't think that they know.
No.
Could you tell
I said
them?
we're nearing the
No,
end.
tell them.
But back to the
Go
facts.
call them. Call the government.
Back to the facts.
1-800-GOVERNMENT.
70 people gone in WWE, right?
70 people.
Not necessarily on ring talent.
In ring.
In-ring talent. Go ahead.
That's my thing. You're just going to keep rambling and then I get to go. So most of who they fired were for live event staff from what I've read, but the names have not been named yet. We do know of a few people. Sarah Stock was a backstage producer. She got let go. And then 36 years. You just beat me to it.
Yeah.
Gerald Briscoe, best known for his on-screen role for younger viewers in the late 90s as one of Vince McMahon's stooges in his very popular feud with Austin. After 36 years.
Could you imagine that? Working there after 36 years?
Dedicating your life to anything for 36 years and then...
Let alone to Vince McMahon.
And after 36 years, did you know, Gerald Briscoe tweeted... he didn't even get an in-person with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon called him on the phone and told him he was no longer needed.
You know,
that's direct verbiage from Gerald Briscoe.
It happens to the best of us.
I feel bad. He had an incredible Hall of Fame-worthy wrestling career and then worked as a producer backstage. Or actually, I'm not sure what he did backstage, but he's senior official. He's been there forever. They're just letting all the senior staff go. Mike Chioda, who showed up in AEW a couple weeks ago, refereeing. Glad to see him resurface. But, you know, you can't eat. We're filming.
Yes, I can. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm still talking pertinently.
No couth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Give him an attaboy and a watch. And that's hard times, Daddy. You get a watch and they slap you on the ass and they tell you, better luck next time.
Be careful.
Because that's hard times.
The bulge next to your face is getting extremely
I didn't even think about that.
Close.
But
it's right there.
But Joe Briscoe essentially living hard times. But moving on, AEW, an enormous week for AEW this week. Back over 1 million viewers.
1 million.
And it deserved it this week on Dynamite, as we'll get to later. A little foreshadowing. Stay with it. We are going to talk all in detail about Dynamite this week. A very exciting show. Yeah, we already did that. The watch in the door. We're on the next one, producer man.
Nope.
Come on, Booker man.
You can't just.
All right, so AEW back up in the ratings. We'll see what it does this week. They've been unopposed the last 2 weeks as NXT's been on Tuesday. But
well, their dolls are selling out. Let's put it that way. They just got restocked.
Dolls?
Their They're
They're not
action
dolls.
figures.
They're action figures. And I'm trying to get them.
Not even friggin' Brandy Rhodes was there.
Anybody got them, reach out in the comments. I'll pay no more than double. No more than double.
No, we won't.
We'll tell her about it.
No, we won't.
They're not dolls. They are not dolls.
They are action figures, apparently.
But moving on, NXT UK is getting ready to start over again. We have an
invitee. Would you like to bring me the belt, the AEW belt?
Oh boy!
Thank you.
He got a new toy today. He can show off.
We
have a run-in.
I don't know if it was for
All right.
Colton or if it was for Johnny here.
Okay, let's get back on track here. We have NXT UK starting back up again. You can't even see it. So
Yeah.
All right, champ, take your belt and hit the showers.
He'll be a mini MJF.
The viewers want the cat.
She's somewhere upstairs. She just ruined a toy that I bought her. So
NXT UK is starting up again in 2 weeks, and we are getting something fresh, something new. We are starting with a British Heritage tournament to crown a British Heritage champion. There are going to be 6 3-minute rounds. First person that gets 2 falls wins. They'll crown a champion. They've started announcing names. It's interesting. I'm going to check in. I imagine it's going to be a beautiful championship, as I think the NXT UK championship is probably the most beautiful belt in the business right now. Outside of New Japan, that is. New Japan's got some mage belts.
I'll be here for it. So either way, I get to watch and I get to tell you all about it.
But moving on, NXT this week, really not much noteworthy other than Finn Balor defeating Adam Cole to join the 2-time club of NXT champions.
I feel like I missed that.
You weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention.
Nope. But Finn Balor took over NXT. He is the male champion. We'll see what happens there.
I like Finn Balor, so I don't not like him.
It's tough for me to move the needle for WWE anymore.
Your needle, I feel like it's not moving much at all.
We have to talk about that here. Anyway, God, this is off the rails today.
You've got a crotch next to your face. I don't know why you're complaining. But
go ahead, you. Come on.
Well, no. What would you like to get to next, Johnny?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's your turn.
It's your world. I'm just living in it, honey.
He is.
So anyway, as we alluded to earlier, the AEW had a pay-per-view on Saturday night. I was hurt by that pay-per-view. At best, I would give it a C.
I don't think it was that bad.
It wasn't that great.
I actually paid attention to it.
It wasn't that it was a bad pay-per-view. It's that it was not up to AEW standards. AEW pay-per-views have wowed and been 5-star pay-per-views. And what went wrong, some might ask? I honestly thought the show ran a little bit long. The chemistry seemed a little bit off.
No.
But I went and I looked and I realized that nobody's making excuses. This is just me. And being a former in-ring talent, I was a nobody and nothing. Let's just establish that.
This is the issue.
Hold on, you.
With being number one. You can't always be number one if you put a good show up the first time. How are you ever going to live up to it?
So anyway, the conditions on Saturday night at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, which is an outdoor amphitheater, it was real feel in the temperature was 118 degrees with humidity. As being an in-ring worker, as our producer knows too, you work in some of these shitty buildings and there's no AC in the middle of summer. I couldn't imagine working outside in those conditions.
Johnny's a sweaty bastard.
Nobody from AEW said that. There's just reports going around. Nobody's making excuses.
It's not.
So what they did was they took the show had its positives. The tag team title match, FTR versus Omega and Page, incredible. Everybody needs to go back, check that one out. Moxley versus MJF lived up to the build for that. It had a very strong build, minus Moxley versus the Lawyer. I didn't care for that. Even Moxley made fun of it during the match on live TV.
Yeah.
Moxley, during the match, you could hear him audibly say, "Come on, let's do something. This is not captivating television." And that just made me chuckle because it was not captivating television until MJF took him out after the match. Moxley beat MJF at the pay-per-view using the paradigm shift, which was banned. And it gives MJF a gripe, which he walked into Dynamite. A bounce-back edition of Dynamite. Phenomenal episode this week.
MJF always has a gripe, though, so you can't even put that into the...
He does have a gripe, but he's
always got a gripe.
He's got a very valid gripe. That move was banned from that match. It shouldn't have ended right there. And another man with a gripe is Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston should be added to a championship match on the anniversary edition of Dynamite coming up, where Lance Archer won the Casino Battle Royal.
Yep.
And he eliminated Eddie Kingston, who was never really eliminated. So Eddie Kingston's got a claim, and I'd like to see a triple threat match. That to me is a little bit more interesting. We saw Mox and Archer at the G1 last year. It's a good match. I would be happy with that, but I think adding Kingston to that is another element, and Kingston is white hot right now, and they need to strap a rocket to him.
You say, I feel like we're not going to get into that in this show. 3 ways are always interesting. If you read that differently, it's all in perspective, producer.
It's called innuendo.
You have the crotch. Oh, wait, that way.
If there's a 3-way, I'd be done before it started.
You have a crotch next to your face. Cover it. She's talking.
But anyway, AEW kicked off Dynamite this week with a really interesting segment in the parking lot. MJF and Chris Jericho pulled up at the same time. Tony Schiavone waiting out there with a microphone like the consummate professional that he is.
Split screen.
So they're talking, they're blowing smoke up each other's ass. I really enjoyed this. To me, that was one of the highlights of the show. And it was a show filled with highlights. And then as soon as they split from each other, they start shit-talking each other. And it was just hilarious. And down the road, I really hope that there's going to be – good Lord.
There's a teenager. That's a rare appearance.
Good Lord with the run-ins. Get away from that woman, man.
We're going to – you're with the –
But I don't even know where I was anymore.
He was next to the mangina.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't say that stuff. It's 2020.
Yes,
We're going to get canceled.
Yes,
We're going to get canceled.
Okay, fine. It's tucked. Does that make it more acceptable?
So anyway, speaking of Chris Jericho, I'm going to keep the wheels on here.
You were talking about how Chris Jericho and MJF had a meeting of the mouths as our producer took it. No, but I was trying to put you back where you were.
I'm already back on. I want a new co-host. Where's Dennis?
Upset.
Can I get Dennis back?
Dennis came in.
What's Chuck doing? Did he come back from Burger King?
No.
All right. So anyway, Jericho's now joining the tag division with Hager as a tag team partner. I'm not a fan of that. That was the only miss this week for me on Dynamite. I hate when 2 singles wrestlers team up. Their tag team division is big as it is already, and they don't need 2 single stars joining up to make a tag team. Not a fan of that. But anyway, I'd like to see Jericho move on with MJF. Maybe that's where they're going. Maybe Hager and
I don't know. After that split screen, that wasn't really.
I'm thinking maybe Jericho and Hager team up against Wardlow and MJF.
I could.
Now that's good TV. You got 2 smaller guys with 2 heaters. I like it. I'm in on that.
I'm okay with that.
And let's not forget, Sammy was missed this week, but after killing Matt Hardy on Saturday, just about, it's all right that he's not on TV. Glad to see Matt Hardy was on TV this week and not dead. That was nice.
I was missed. Sammy was not missed.
Smacking your head on concrete after falling off a scissor lift is nothing anybody should ever bounce back from. But glad Matt Hardy is okay. And on Wednesday, we had Miro Day.
I like how he just tries to skip over that. Everybody was captivated by it that was at the house for this pay-per-view. I was the only one that was not a microphone or microwave. That was my text messages on my computer.
That would imply that she's cooking me something.
I cooked myself.
Moving on. As I said, Wednesday was Miro Day. The former Rusev debuted as Kip Sabian's best man for his, what I'm assuming is going to be a televised wedding. Wrestling weddings are always fun. Something's going to go terribly wrong. I don't know what's going to happen. Some of my favorite moments are weddings. You got Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth. You got the Billy and Chuck wedding, which is probably my favorite wedding of all time with Chris Jericho or with Eric Bischoff in old man makeup. I've got to show you that.
I'd
sometime.
have a wrestling wedding. I would.
It's fun. No, you don't. You haven't seen a wrestling wedding
Only
before.
if Angus takes Dan and slams him through a table. But
That's all right.
as Dan is dressed as a rabbi.
Angus has a habit of not being
Dan,
able to break
the
tables.
other Dan. We've got so many Dans in our lives. Oh, you can go. That's fine too.
You don't want any parts of it. He's a sandbagger. But anyway, one of the most important things that's going to be addressed next week on Dynamite, as we learned this past week, we are going to get justice for Sue.
You know,
We are getting justice for Sue.
You just get her a
The
new
proud and the
minivan.
powerful, Santana and Ortiz, took out Sue's minivan, and we're having a parking lot brawl next week between Santana and Ortiz and the best friends.
She's needed a minivan since they spray painted it.
Ow.
You like my trousers? God.
Nobody gives a shit.
We can't get any peace in this house. You see what it's like?
So what I thought AEW did very positively this week was they managed in 2 hours to fit just about the entire roster on television this week and give everybody some nice shine, get a huge, what happened to be a huge crowd to see everybody on the roster.
It was better than the NFL crowd. that was on what, yesterday, or was it Thursday Night Football?
Well, since we're filming a show that people might watch anywhere, we'll say Thursday, September 10th.
Touche.
But noticeably missing, she did have oh God, I just pulled a JR.
I love Sunny Kiss.
And it's actually SONNY, Booker
Exactly.
Man. She did have a great showing, I thought. Really carried Joey Janela. And I don't think you picked up on this because you weren't in the thread on
Janela. Wait, Joey Janela. The Joey Janela that our producer says is the next Jericho?
Yeah.
Because the only similarity is the hair.
Our show just lost complete credibility.
Woo! I didn't say it.
You didn't work anybody.
I know how you worked him. Let's not talk about
So,
that. It's not
as I said, they
appropriate.
managed to get the whole roster on TV, but noticeably missing from that, Brian Cage. Listen to me, Tony Khan. AEW, what are you doing?
Of course.
Why was Brian Cage not on my TV this week? Why does Brian Cage not have anything important to do? Why is the FTW championship not something that's coveted by
Johnny,
people? And why is there nobody getting in the ring with a microphone
Johnny,
and saying they want a piece of Brian Cage for that title? Why?
let's be honest. You miss Taz. You don't miss Brian.
I miss them both. I love them both. I'm just too henpecked today. Go ahead. What do you got to say about something?
I don't even know what that means. But is it almost time for us to get to?
I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
Okay. Well, I'm ready
wanna-
for a last call. If you're ready, but I don't know. I like to keep it short and sweet.
Well, we'll just close it off by next week. There's an AEW Tag Team Championship match. Smurfette. Yeah.
I don't have things. I do have.
Look at her hands.
I
It looks
do.
like she tugged them all off.
Oh, that's they are as blue as you can't see.
Next week, we have a Tag Team Championship match on Dynamite. It's going to be FTR against Jurassic Express. Well, I'm going to tune in for that one. But let's take it home, Booker Man. Last call. So, last call,
Can I say
we
mine?
both... No, we're going to do the same thing. We talked about this.
Yes.
Go ahead. She's going rogue. What were you going to say before I interrupted you?
Listen, was your favorite the Mimosa Mayhem, or was it just me?
No, it wasn't mine. Go ahead. Do your thing. Talk about most mayhem.
I just thought it was wonderful, and I thought it was very courteous that they curbed the end of the giant vats of mimosa with pool noodles. You know, just thinking about safety. After they knock Matt Hardy out,
Why'd you censor yourself?
because the kids
You
are
can't do
behind
that
us.
around.
The kids are behind us.
Oh, boy.
We just got a package, apparently, says
So-
the dogs.
So anyway, my last call for this week, the thing I enjoyed the most, we checked out the You Cannot Kill David Arquette documentary.
We did talk about this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, see, we did.
Oh.
Nobody fucking listens
Oh,
to me.
I didn't offend a dog. We just got a package.
Moxie, shut up! That works. What's in the package?
It was.
Is
Actually,
it gonna...
No, it was actually a
Oh.
light for work, but you know.
So anyway, you cannot kill David Arquette. David Arquette made this documentary and made a second run in the wrestling business.
It was gold.
It was awesome.
It was gold.
I give it 5 stars out of 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. However you want to rate it, 10 out of 10.
And it was a roller coaster gold. Like, there was a point in the middle where I was kind of like...
There was some sadness where you felt bad for him, too, because this guy was so disrespected. He had nothing but respect for the wrestling business. He didn't want the position that he was in, but he got pushed into that position. And, like, he's been on record saying, I never wanted to win the championship. They had him do it because it was good PR, and it's true. It was good PR. But wrestling fanatics, they'll never respect anybody holding that big gold that never deserved it. So it's something that's nagged at him, which brought the second run in wrestling on.
He deserves it.
He went and trained, and he learned more about wrestling and how to do it. He went to conventions, he did signings, he got his body in phenomenal shape for his age, considering the heart attacks that he's had and anxiety issues and a mountain of mental health issues that he had.
Went straight edge, just completely great shape, physical shape, mental shape. I
came out of it admiring David Arquette and having nothing but the utmost respect for somebody for the longest time, about 20 years, who was considered the biggest joke in the wrestling business of all time.
Well, I think you've liked him ever since I met you.
Oh, sure, because that's when that run started. Yeah. And you can see his stuff on Bar Wrestling. And
that's how I first saw
the
him.
Bar Wrestling. We'll get to that, Booker, man.
I saw him with Jimmy. Was it Jimmy Havoc?
Nick Gage.
It was
the
Nick
light tube in the throat.
When he got stabbed right in the whatever that. I'm pretty sure that's your
jugular, your carotid.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Words
But yeah, just to break. So just to put closure to that. You cannot kill David Arquette. Available on Amazon Prime. It's a $5 rental. It's a $5 rental.
It may be $4.99 SD.
And it's like an hour and 45 minutes. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen in recent memory. I want to watch it again.
And even if I don't know, watch it. If you're a guy who wants to watch it with your wife, because she gets to see the hilarious similarity between.
Oh my God.
Courtney Cox
and his new wife,
because I can't tell the difference.
Schmortney Mox.
Schmortney Schmox.
Yeah, but and stay for the credits too, because if you want to respect David Arquette a little bit more, you learn something that people might not know when they interview Brian Pillman Jr. during the credits, and he goes on record and tells you why he loves and respects and why David Arquette is family to him, and it's because David Arquette took all his money that he made in WCW and donated it to Pillman's family after Pillman passed away and to Owen Hart's family after Owen passed away. David Arquette didn't keep 1 cent that he made from WCW. So in closure, mad respect to David Arquette. Check out You Can't Kill David Arquette on Amazon Prime. Cody Rhodes. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
He says he's going to go and then he doesn't go.
What are you doing with that announcement? They hype up this announcement during AEW this week, and it turns out to be some stupid-ass game show. We're thinking we're getting a medical update here.
I loved it!
I thought they were going to talk about this new show that's coming out before year's end for AEW, not some stupid game show. I'm not tuning in.
They're like my announcements, honestly. But on that note, everybody, stay weird, just like Marty Jannetty.
Oh, God, you keep it too sweet.
Thank you for listening to that Way Cool Wrestling Show Breakout. We'll see you at the matches. Goodbye, everybody.